Exciting day announcing 50 million Series A financing.
Yes, we are very excited about this. This is a great endorsement of what we have accomplished over the last 18 months. And this gives us a great runway over the next 18 months to deliver more.
We led the seed financing roughly like 12 months back. So tell me more about Gruve and how has it expanded over the last 12 months?
We've been talking to a lot of enterprise customers. And despite all the things you hear out there, AI is very real.
Mm-hmm.
If we go back to the days of the mobile phone, engineers were the first to adopt the iPhone, and business still continued on the BlackBerry.
Yep.
It's the same exact situation happening with AI right now. Engineers are the first to adopt AI. Software engineering is dramatically getting changed with AI. Every day, Claude becomes more intuitive, and it gives more and more capabilities to the software engineer. That is starting to permeate now into the organization, going into business workflows, going into AI optimization. And all of a sudden, enterprises are now waking up and going like, hey, this is great. We love this journey. But costs are a factor for us now. I think we are going to step into this second inning of AI, where cost economics are going to be paramount for every organization that is involved in AI in different shapes or form.
I had an AI predictions blog a few weeks back where I said it's all about show me the money. That's the first prediction, right? Like what's the ROI? Because for real outcomes, how much money am I spending? And the unit economics matter a lot.
So Navin, we are very excited to have you on the board and also participate in this Series A. What made you see into our journey, and what made you think like, okay, this is a place where you can invest and participate?
Absolutely. So Mayfield is a people-first organization. We invest in people first, and that's our core belief. So it started with you and the founding team. The second thing is, of course, these founders need to have founder market fit, and they need to go after a market which potentially is massive. And when you have a combination of the right founding team with a massive market opportunity, you go ahead with the journey with them. And then along the road, either their idea has to pivot, but if you back A+ people, they'll find the right market, or like in your case, they keep expanding. They want to make it 100x. But it always starts with people. There has to be the right market insertion, and then markets just keep expanding. So that's what led to the investment, and it's been a delight being on this journey with you guys. So tell me, what are you announcing today besides the financing, right? Because you have a new product you're announcing.
Yeah, it's a very exciting time for us. What we are announcing today is our inferencing infrastructure services. This is a completely new platform services capability we are bringing to the market. It is very much targeted for neoclouds, CDNs, inferencing services companies, hyperscalers, and large enterprises that want to deploy their own inferencing infrastructure. The concept of our inferencing infrastructure services is very much built on the basis that a lot of these workloads are very different than your traditional cloud workloads. Traditional cloud workloads come with a very heavy storage, very heavy need for DR, backup, reliability, redundancy, whereas inferencing workloads are normally very stateless. And this gives us a very unique opportunity to change the cost dynamics of this. This inferencing infrastructure services for us is a new paradigm. We have partnered with several companies. One of them is Lineage. We have been able to capture about 500 megawatts of stranded power. So we are going to leverage that to bring this new type of capability to market.
And is there some technical innovation that you guys have done with the design?
Yes, there is a lot of technical innovation that has gone into place. And this goes back to my and my team's background in data centers. Higher density is generally not very popular in data centers is because it's changing the paradigm. But there is a very unique advantage of higher density, which is it actually reduces cost a lot. So we have innovated on a very high density data center pod that can be utilized for inferencing only. And we are able to scale these Lego blocks in a modular format from 5 megawatts to 100 megawatts in a site and scale that quickly and build it quickly. Time to market is the most important thing in this journey, and our innovation enables us to deliver at a much more faster time to market.
Let's rewind to your first company. What led you to become an entrepreneur? It was quite some time back, right?
Yeah, it was back in 2012. It's customer opportunity. I was having lunch with a customer. He said, here's the problem. Other vendors didn't want to solve it. And it just so happened, I just happened to need the right solution for that problem. And it led me to start a company. I never thought it would be as big as it became.
It was big.
It was, we were about 1,200 people. We grew to about $500 million in revenue. And it grew fast. And it was an amazing wave that we rode on the growth of hyperscaler data centers.
So what's different this time around as a serial entrepreneur? Last time you didn't have VCs, and here you have one and you're adding a second one.
Well, first of all, I'm very fortunate to have your support and Phil's support from Temasek, Zora to help us in this journey. Last time I didn't have a VCs because nobody wanted to give me money. So let me just be honest about that. This time, it is also a very unique opportunity for me to work with people. The difference this time, though, is the pace at which innovation is happening, the pace at which entrepreneurs need to disrupt or succeed or transform is much faster. Mm-hmm. Like the decisions I could sit on and say like, okay, I can take a couple of days. Now I've got a couple of hours. I need to make those decisions quick. And I need to understand that like more than half of my decisions are going to lead to a failure. So I need to prepare my team to say failure is okay. So it's a very unique time and opportunity.
To go after these opportunities, how do you assemble the right team? You have had co-founders, you never do it alone. And in this particular case of Gruve, how did you assemble the core team together?
It just happened to be that we put something out there on social media, and some of the people that we worked with previously caught the attention, and they said, "Hey, this is interesting. We are interested." Assembling a team together it's like an exercise, in my opinion. And you meet people, you work with people, and sometimes there are people that come into an organization, but then after a few months or a year, you realize like, hey, this is not a common ground. This is not their passion. This is not my passion. And that's okay. But usually what ends up happening is there are people that you find that share the same passion, the same culture, and they end up staying back. And that's how you end up getting to a better and better team as you go along.
So having been an entrepreneur for quite some time, right? Like there is this concept of being in founder mode versus being a manager or an executive. What mode do you operate in?
Well, I'm always in a founder mode. I don't think I have a manager or executive mode, and so does my team.
So everybody is in founder mode.
Everybody is in a founder mode.
And you make even investors be in founder mode.
I think that's the better part, right? Nothing better than having investors also think like a founder. But I really feel that with AI, actually a lot of this is going through a paradigm shift. It's happening in Silicon Valley first, where even like larger companies that used to have executives or managers, a lot of them are thinking like founder modes.
So switching gears, how did you decide to choose a VC when you raised your first round and who your founding investor should be? Because it's not just about the money, right?
I think it is not just about the money or the funding that comes into the business. It's also a very unique perspective, right? So working with you, we got a much more unique perspective on our business than what we would have been just doing it alone. I think we are very lucky in Silicon Valley that we are surrounded with investors like yourself and Phil and others who give us this phenomenal capability to expand and scale. On the other side, also it's also about you getting to know us getting to know you. Where is the strategic fit? Does this align with your portfolio? And I think we are very lucky that we have you on board, we have Phil on board to help us in this journey.
You're solving two things, right? One, you talked about the new product we are launching, and the prior one is the past product, which helps companies deliver AI native services, right? So how did you validate the idea for the new product you're launching?
I think the best validation is really customer conversations. And then I think the second best validation is you should feel yourself convinced that you're actually solving a real problem and it's going to disrupt that problem. And there might be some that might say like, no, this doesn't sound right. But as long as you have your own conviction, that is super important. So to get to that conviction, data is the key ingredient. And the way to get there is to validate that data through multiple sources: customers, investors, partners, ecosystem partners. And we went through that process. And what we realized was we are building these AI agents. We are helping companies with their data engineering layers. We are helping them on the infrastructure side. As we started to look through that, it became very clear to us that the underlying cost of all of this is really going to be this inferencing piece and the model optimization piece. And this is a huge piece of problem to solve. And we focused on only one area, which is how can we enable the infrastructure capacity so that neoclouds that have really figured out this solution of, hey, I can buy a GPU, I can lease you a GPU, I can turn it into a model as a service, can leverage that. So that was the piece that we went after.
My belief is when a company starts, they need to crawl, walk, run, and fly. And Gruve has already crossed the chasm of not only crawling and walking, but also running. What are some of the things you're doing this time around, which is different from the cloud era?
Think of AI as that turbo on your car that just supercharges your car to go faster. The more balanced turbos you put, the better off your car is going to be. To put those balanced turbos, you have to make sure you have the right people, the right ecosystem, the right technology to go take it forward. It's not whether I want to drive the speed, it's the environment that is going to push us into that speed. And it's also these big players that are moving so dramatically fast that it's pushing everybody in that ecosystem to go faster. I mean, when was the last time in our career we saw like one chip to the next chip being announced in a matter of less than 12 months?
Correct. It's like the iPhone phenomenon.
Exactly.
So to scale at this pace, right, like what you and I are discussing, what are your biggest worries, right? What keeps you up at night?
I think this entire business of AI is actually, it's a business about people. I don't think it is a business about technology. The technology will be there, but it is actually about the people. And what you have to find is, you have to find the right AI adopter in your enterprise to say, hey, that's the person who's adopting this fastest. He's a change agent. He's going to enable the entire company to go forward faster. He or she is going to make it, superior in our technology drive. So I think it's really about people when it comes to AI. And I think the second thing I would say is it's anticipating the curve of innovation. And if you have good people around you, they will help you anticipate that curve faster than it comes to you.
One of the things, right, like a lot of VCs talk about, and you're a seasoned entrepreneur, is having not only the investor board member, but also a portfolio services team, which helps with recruiting, helps with access to customer partners, helps with marketing. How useful are these things, even for a successful serial entrepreneur like you?
They're extremely important. And I think, my previous success does not guarantee me any path to the future, right? So every time you go out there and you start something new, it's all back to the zero. You can lean on to some of your past network or connections to guide you, but it is really you're building everything from scratch. And a firm that provides that kind of backdrop and support is huge for startups like us, right? Because it allows us to scale faster, scale better, and have those customer validations about how we need to move forward. Mayfield and your team as actually one of the best portfolio services team members out there. We had a customer meeting right here at Mayfield. In the first 30 minutes, the customer presented their problem statement. And that problem statement resonated so well with us, and our solution resonated so well with them, that we have now mapped out a 3-month crawl, walk journey in their enterprise.
Amazing.
Right, around AI.
You guys in your existing business have a lot of customers who are deploying AI, and you are helping them with AI native solutions. What do you think is the driver?
I think the first thing that resonates with majority of our customers that we go have a conversation with is security. Cybersecurity is the first piece that they want to make sure that they have.
That's the fear.
That's like a full 360 around implementing AI. Are we going to have AI with the right guardrails? How is my data being managed with AI? Are my agents behaving the right way? Right? Are my users getting the right responses or not getting the responses when they should not? So cybersecurity resoundingly is the number one area where we see like the AI conversations. I would say the second thing is this entire fear around jobs. We are not there yet where AI can take over jobs or AI can intuitively think and say, I can do this job. It's still long ways away. But where AI is really helping is an engineer that knows how to use Claude in a better way is definitely going to get that job compared to an engineer that has not touched Claude or a tool that
so
helps.
It's elevation of humans.
Exactly. It's
a
the
10x
teammate.
engineer.
Yes. It's the teammate that comes along with it. And I think that's where jobs are going.
Got it. Right. So it's a reskilling of humans.
100%. And look, we have reskilled over centuries and decades and years, right? So,
True. How important is ROI discussions with these customers, right? Because there's a lot of talk about AI. Some people feel it's overhyped.
ROI is a very important conversation in a very traditional business sense, because traditional businesses are built and designed around workflow. An object, any type of an object for that matter, moves through a workflow. So if AI can help improve that workflow, hey, there is a certain ROI there. But if AI doesn't help improve that workflow and actually creates impedance into that workflow, then it is not a ROI, it's actually a hurdle. So ROI is very important. But there are some businesses which you question will exist in the age of AI or not. And for them, it's not about ROI, it's about AI is everything.
Survival.
You're not thinking ROI, you're thinking like, I better do this because it's my survival.
So ROI is one piece, but for a technology supplier or a vendor like you, how important is the unit economics and the business model?
Yeah, I mean, Navin, you and I both have some gray hair, right?
So, or less hair. Or
getting there. We both know that during the .com or the e-commerce days, there was this concept of buy high, sell low, get eyeballs.
Yep.
Right? And we know where that story went. It's no different right now, right? And I think entrepreneurs, investors, ecosystem partners, we all have a responsibility to make sure that we are supporting a business where we understand the unit economics, right? And that is super important. And it's extremely important in our business because we are an outcome-based services platform, right? So for us, unit economics is very important. But the way we think about unit economics is, what is the underlying cost structure that I am changing so I can come and offer you something of value? If I can't change the underlying cost structure on my side, and I just come and subsidize you with investor dollars, then that's not a business model. That's a recipe for a future disaster.
You mentioned, right, outcome-based pricing. Tell me a little bit more, because the pricing has changed from perpetual license, paying upfront for hardware, to subscription, and now is going to consumption or outcome.
I think this is a natural progression that's going to happen, which is outcome or consumption or value-based pricing for every business and even consumers. AI is that unique inflection point that is actually enabling that, where we can actually measure an outcome, we can measure a consumption, we can measure the value. Traditional model was, hey, here's a IaaS stack, here's a PaaS stack, here's a SaaS stack.
Yep.
Now, there are some software companies that are out there that are going like, on top of all of this stack, let's charge you an agent stack, right?
Yep.
And I think customers are going to look at this and going to say, this doesn't create a ROI for me, right? So what's going to happen is the agent is going to say, well, I'm going to eliminate some of these stacks for you or compress these stacks for you, which means licensing models go away.
Yep.
Right? And the agent model comes in and says, how about I just charge you per transaction? That becomes an outcome-based model because now you're paying per transaction. I mean, if you look at the merchant world, they actually went to a transaction-based model a long time ago.
Correct.
So this is no different. We'll get there.
And the customers are ready and asking for this?
Some are on that journey. And it's always a journey. For us, it is those beachhead customers that are ready to experiment, that want to go on this journey. And we are very excited to work with them. We partner with them and along the way, we both learn. What advice would you give, Navin, to founders like us as we get onto this investment journey on the continuation path?
This is a 100x opportunity. Things are going to scale much faster than ever before, and they'll also fail much faster than the internet era, than the cloud era. So first and foremost, you need to start with the right people because people build companies. Second, when you start a company, you need to lay out your mission, vision, and values along with the people you have amassed. Once you have that in place, you create a differentiated strategy. Then you have to make sure in every conversation you have, it's not about I, it's about we, and it's customer first. You need to make sure your product is a painkiller, it's not a vitamin. And then the final two pieces I would say is you need to be nimble because dinosaurs never survive. And finally, there's no overnight success. You're running a marathon, not a sprint. So those are some of the rules of the road. I would be telling founders, even though you expect to go like this, it's not going to happen overnight. Instead of 20 years, it might take 5, it might take 6, but it's not going to happen in 6 months. Yeah. So to wrap it up, right, we touched upon a lot of topics. A lot of founders are going to listen to this. What advice do you have based on the lessons you have learned along the way as they think about building an AI native company?
I would say like the advice I would leave with other founders is it's about people. Founder is the person that can lay out a vision, but that vision requires creative thinking, execution, follow through, and it's really about the people. And you got to choose your partners that understand the people concept. It's about how do you bring people into that and lay out that vision and have them participate. And with AI, it's even more important to have meaningful participation. I'm very fortunate that Mayfield seeded us and also participated in the Series A. And I love the Mayfield philosophy of people first.
Yeah, we completely believe, right? Like people build products, people build companies. It's not the other way around. It's been a privilege working with you. It's been a delight and an honor to have led your Series seed financing and participating in a big way in this Series A financing. So looking forward to climbing new heights together.
Yeah, same here, Navin.